Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gurren Otaku Council podcast. As always, I'm your host, Ace.
And I'm your host, McMillian.
And this week, we are back with a review of Dead Mountain Death Play and Heavenly Delusional. But of course, before we get into all that, if you'd like to join me, my friend McMillian, here before as we discuss all things anime and sometimes manga, then please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, as well as follow us on our social media so you can stay up to date on all things about the council. And with that being said, the council is now in session. Let the meeting begin. All right, everybody, welcome back for another week. Thank you all for joining today's meeting.
Yes.
All right, as always, everybody, we're just going to get started with some council announcements. And first up, we just want to let everybody know that our next Netflix anime review will be Uncle from Another World, or Isekai Oji-san. Once again, as some folks like to call it. Also, with the premiere of Demon Slayer season 3 coming out here, we just want to remind everybody that we did do a episode 1 review of season 3 of Demon Slayer, so that is out live now on both the audio only platforms as well as the YouTube, so you can check that out. And then last but not least here, we just want to also remind everybody that our last episode where we did a season 2 review of Tokyo Revengers is now out as well on both our audio only platforms and YouTube as well. So definitely make sure to check that out as well. And we also did a Hell's Paradise review in that episode as well. All righty. And then with all that being said, we're just going to hop straight into some anime news now. And I'll hand it off to McMillian, who's going to go and get us started on today's news.
Yep. So if you remember, last time we did some news, we reported on the Naruto Top 99 poll. The results will be coming out on April 13th. So keep your eye out for that.
Yeah. So that should be live by the time this recording is out.
Yes. By the time it's recording, it should be live. But although I have been hearing that apparently there have been some hacking going on with the polls. People apparently voted, I think, for one of the best fights was Sakura versus Sasori, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought it was just a character pose, a fight poll too.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, there's a fight poll, but people found out that apparently people were hacking the site to make that one of the most popular the most popular fight.
I mean, so it's Sakura, not a bad fight.
Yeah, it's not, but it's just so funny to me because I'm like, Sakura got some shooters out here. I see, okay, I see her. But continuing, the next chapter of Berserk will be released on April 28th, 2023. And if you hadn't heard, the people that are continuing with Berserk is a close personal friend of the author,
yes,
and his assistants. So this is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is the first chapter that is picking up after, with that in mind. So do be on the lookout for that for the Berserk fans and anybody who got into Berserk after the author is passing.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure we're all waiting to see how that goes.
Yep.
Last but not least, Suzume. Not last. Suzume becomes the 4th highest grossing anime film of all time worldwide,
which is crazy because every time we saw a trailer of that show, we're just like, we're always just like, what is going on in this movie? And now, and we said we might have to do a review on it, but now that it made it to that, peak there, top 5 anime, grossing films of all time, we might have to go ahead and just check that one on out, see what's going on.
Some other anime influencers, cosplayers and such like that, got a chance to see the premiere in like California.
Mm-hmm.
And they said it was actually really good.
Okay.
So we might have to go ahead and give it a review at some point. Just be on the lookout for that. Unfortunately, it just won't be anytime soon because I will be out of office next week. So.
Well, I don't know if it's even in theaters over here in the U.S. just yet.
Oh, it's not okay. I thought it came out.
I'm not sure. It could be. I don't know. I haven't looked that information up.
We'll have to check that. And last, but certainly not least, the Rising of Shield Hero Season 3, we got a release date or a release window, I should say. Should be ready for this October.
Yes. Season 2 of Shield Hero was not the greatest. I think it ended on a good note though. But it definitely could have been a little bit better. So hopefully, season 3 is looking to shake that up. Definitely, Shield Hero is one of my favorite isekai, so I'm definitely looking forward to season 3 here.
Yeah. Hopefully, season 3 does come and rectify some of the stuff that happened in season 2. Um, I'm still excited to see what they go from here, but yeah, season
Hopefully,
2
we won't
definitely.
have any more turtle incidents in season
Hopefully,
3.
hopefully. But to get into the main stuff for the episode, we're gonna be starting with our
Oh well, yeah.
review.
So yes, so that is the end of the news. Everybody, thank you all. Please let us know down below in the comments what you guys think of the news. And as McMillian was just saying, we're gonna head into our first review, anime review for today. Oh my gosh, tongue twister. Dead Mouth Death Play, and this is gonna be episode 1. I'm not sure if episode 2 is out at the time of this recording, but we're gonna be reviewing episode 1 though.
Episode 1. No, this by the time we were recording, only one episode is currently out.
Gotcha.
Um,
And so I'm
but
gonna
what
hand
an
it off to
episode it was.
yes, and I'm handed off to McMillian here to give us a quick plot and a summary of the show, real quick.
All right. So Dead Mount Death Play originally, within the first 20 minutes of the episode, takes place in a fantasy world, where the corpse god necromancer is fighting the hero of this world. It's a pretty epic fight. Seems to be the culmination, I guess, of the church, just whole thing of trying to take out this corpse god, and the corpse god just doing his best to just stay alive. Um, nearing the end of their fight, the corpse god launches some huge magic spell. It seems that would uh, supposedly transport him somewhere or do something with his body, and the hero interrupts it with an attack, and all of a sudden he's transported to the real world, Tokyo, Japan. And he's inhabiting the body of a teenager who was just killed, and so he has to figure out, one, what the heck just went wrong with his spell, and two, what is going on with his body, and why was it just murdered? From there, from there we basically see him get targeted by an assassin because again they thought they finished the job, but when the body starts getting up and walking again, you gotta go back, you gotta spin the block just a bit, and from there we get a glimpse about a basic of what it seems like this anime is fully going to be about, which is the corpse god continuing his life now in the real world, but also figuring out what the hell is going on with these assassins now targeting his actual body.
Correct. And so, if you was just listening to McMillian there, if you was really paying attention, you might have noticed that basically the MC for this show is the villain, which is crazy. So the corpse, like McMillian said, the corpse god was the big bad that the hero was fighting at the beginning of the show, and now it comes to find out that he's going to be the main character of the show in this new world, which I think is pretty interesting.
Yes, I definitely do think that now. Yeah, I definitely think this is an interesting flip of the script for like an isekai thing, because normally if anything, we're usually following the heroes of these journeys, but this time we're following the quote unquote villain. Because who knows? In a couple of episodes, we might find out that he was just the church was just fucking with him because for some fucked up reason. But
I wouldn't be surprised if if the hero found a way into that other world, because we are
oh yeah.
at the end of the battle he was like, if I feel like the corpse god escaped because I could see him with my evil eyes and whatnot.
Yeah, because if he died, he'd be able to
That's
see his
some in
soul.
my eye here.
But yeah, no, I definitely think we have some interesting routes we can go besides just the hero following him into this world. Because again, the body he's currently inhabiting is already being targeted by motherfuckers. So it's like, where do we go from here? As we continue.
So what
But
did you think of? Oh, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask. What did you think about the fight at the beginning of the show? It was
I
pretty
thought they,
lengthy too. It's almost about
yeah,
like 5-7 minutes, something like that.
yeah. I was about to say it was a pretty entertaining fight. I'm interested to see if we'll get anything like that moving forward.
That is a good
Uh,
question. That is a wonderful
because
question.
of just how I mean, it probably won't be exactly the same because he's in a totally different body right now. But um, that was a very, I felt like, fluid and dynamic fight. Uh, with everything that was going on, you had like um, bodies of the dead coming back,
Yep.
sword and magic combos going off.
Yep.
Like it was a very visually pleasing thing to look at, and I'm wondering if we'll get anything like close to that as we continue the series, because later on in the episode we do see that he did retain some of his magic. if not
Well,
all
the
of it.
corpse
Because
god, then yeah.
yeah, the corpse. Sorry, the corpse god. Let me clarify. The corpse god retained his magic abilities in even though he's in Tokyo, Japan now. So only time will tell if we'll get another dynamic fight scene.
Which is also another thing interesting because when he first, I can't remember if it was when he first went to the world, or it might be during the scene where he's actually running away from old girl. But there was a point in the show where he mentioned, was like, the magic, there's magic in this air, but not a lot. So which is
Out of it.
kind of interesting because like there's actually no magic in this earth, this planet or wherever he's at. But even though it might not necessarily be a magical world though, which I thought was interesting as well.
Yeah, I mean, also seems like some of his magic is tied. Well, not some, but it seems like his magic is tied to the souls of dead bodies. Because when the the souls of the dead, I should say, not dead bodies, but the souls of the dead. Because when the assassin chased him into the room where
Yeah.
I guess a lot of people have died before, he was like, "Oh, dope! I can now do this," and
Yeah.
shoves a giant skeletal hand, out.
And I also brought that up to say because that might also play in to how maybe this series goes, because I know we was talking offline and you was mentioning how much will magic actually play in this series. So we don't know what's going on, but we do know people are trying to kill him, and maybe as the people who's that's trying to kill him find out if he got magic and stuff like that, maybe they discover magic as well somehow. And he already confirmed that it is magic, in the air, so maybe it is not impossible for other people to use magic and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why I think it'll be interesting to see as the story progresses or as the series moves on if we'll get more magic users, A, from the other world, or B, just here in the regular and whatever, like, I guess in the world he inhabits, which I'm assuming is the regular world. But
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how how one, the assassins tackle him as a threat if they continue to fuck with him, and then two, like, will the people from his original world chase him to this new
Yeah.
one, and how that'll all evolve and come about.
I
A
agree.
lot of avenues this can take.
I agree.
Hmm.
Anything else, Chief, that's on your
Um,
mind? What
the
what,
only
what you thinking about episode? How did you feel about episode one?
I really enjoyed it. I thought as just like, for instance, I learned a little bit before I watched the episode that the person who created this series also created Bakano and Durarara,
Correct.
which are both really good if you have not seen them.
I can vouch for
And they
Durarara, but not the other one he was talking about.
Yeah, they usually they both deal with supernatural aspects and like how humans deal with those supernatural things in a mundane world, kind of. So this is kind of right up the, in a way, the same alley, but just a bit different. So I was really excited to see how they were going to tackle this, because as Ace pointed out, this is a villain being reincarnated into the regular world. Like, what does that entail? And then not only that, he was is a villain called the Corpse God.
Yeah,
Like,
and
how
like,
how will that all come about? So I was just really I was really in terms of first episode, I really enjoyed it. Like, it was
yeah,
a great start.
and it is not. There's not too many stories where we get to basically see the main character take over the world. One example I can think of is Overlord, but I wouldn't necessarily call him a villain. He does some bad stuff every now and then, but I mean, I think it also depends on the situations that he's in as well.
I
Oh
was about
my,
to say, what was that, the end of season 2, where he he what killed all those adventurers? I think it was either season 2 or season 3. Um, Apologies if I spoiled Overlord for people. It's that season's been out for a while, so hopefully people are caught up if they haven't checked it out. But yeah, I think this is probably another one. We don't even know necessarily if his goal is to take over the world. We just
I'm.
know
Mm, I
he's a villain.
guess, but why wouldn't it be?
We don't know. When I remember, I
Because I
said
mean, it seems like he was
Billy.
trying to take over the other world.
Well, that's what we were told. We don't know everything yet. That's why I said. Remember, I said the church could have been,
I
because
guess, yeah. I
in enough
mean,
animes, you've seen enough animes. The church be fucking up sometimes. Okay, so I don't put it past them to fuck up this time. That's all I'm saying.
nah, I feel you on that one. But I don't know. I mean, he was already trying to take over the other world. Yes, there could be some, slide play, no slick play, whatever going on with that situation. But it did seem, for the most part, he was trying to take over that world. So my assumption would be, okay, well, I'm in another world. Why not take over this place too?
we'll have to. Yeah, we'll just have to see how that shakes out.
Especially since he got magic and stuff. Like, if he starts raising the dead, like, how do people counteract that? Like, there's a lot of ways they can take this show.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. That's why I said I'm excited to see what else like comes about it, because this could become something like there's this anime called Magical Index, for people that I may or may not have heard of it. It centers around magic and science, basically going head to head. So I'm wondering if we can even get into like a thing like that, since magic doesn't seem as abundant in this world. When the main character starts popping off for real, are they gonna come at them with scientific weapons and stuff like that? How all that'll play out, or will there be people with abilities? Because I mean, even the assassin girl that came after him did not seem like a normal fucking person.
No, she didn't. But it's anime though, so but
True, true.
but she didn't seem like a normal street person. She knew how to throw knives very efficiently. That's not. I mean, something that regular people can learn how to do, but that's not something that the everyday average person is out here learning how to do. Let's put it like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep. So I'll just say this: I'm excited to see where the rest of the series goes.
I, I, I
Very, very good start.
I second that motion. I do second that motion. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and rate this first episode then. For me, I love the premise with the main villain being the MC of the show. I love the premise. Especially now, it also looks like it's also going to be more of like a mystery type show as well, because we don't know
Mm-hmm.
like the people who's after him. We don't even know the reason why they tried to kill the person that body he took over. So some mystery aspects of the show going on as well.
Yeah,
But I think I'll
especially
just give it a smooth 7 though.
a smooth 7. Okay, yeah, no, that's not that far off from where I was gonna give it. So for me, I was gonna give it a 7.5.
Okay.
All the reasons you stated, but for me, I think the half point might come from the animation, or like the animation. Also, just how like unique the first episode made me feel, because again, like, to come back in a dead body, to find out that dead body is like 16. What the fuck is this 16-year-old doing?
You know what? Now that you mentioned that, that's also another, like you said, a unique twist on it. He got reincarnated into a body that was already killed, which is not something we normally see as well.
It just makes you think. Besides, like, what is he gonna do moving forward? What did this person, the age of 16, dude, to have assassins come after him? What
on,
what's
on,
going on here?
I'm with you on that.
Because it just seems like there's a greater underbelly, to the like an evil underbelly to like the whatever, to this Japan, to this setting of Japan that they have,
Yeah,
and how that'll all tie in coming forward just kind of makes me a little bit more excited.
I agree.
But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the rest of what this series has to offer.
I agree. Well, all right, everybody. That will be the end of our Dead Mouth Dead Play episode 1 review. Please let us know down below in the comments what you guys thought about the first episode, and then have you even checked it out yet? And with all that being said, we're going to move on. Before we move on to our last anime review for today, we're actually going to move on to this week's weekly anime recommendation. So take it away, McMillian.
So for this week, this is anime that me and Ace have given a lot of love.
A lot of love.
Uh, even recently, because I believe we're only 1 or 2 episodes removed from us talking about the end of their entire season. If you haven't guessed, it's Blue Lock, everybody's favorite sports, probably everybody's current favorite sports anime. Basically, I just want to say, if you have not checked this out yet, what are you doing? Please, please do yourself a favor and go out and watch it.
Yes.
It's great stories, great characters, amazing, great animation. Um, all the things, really.
Great animation. It might be a contender for animation of the year,
Mm,
in my opinion.
he said it, not me. But I do slightly agree. I do think this is a contender, a great sports anime. Nah, I say even great anime in general. If you have not tried sports anime, this was Ace's first. He can attest that he loved it. And I've only seen a handful of them, and I still think it's a par above some of them, as well as it's just a good time. It's just a really good time. So if you're scrounging to watch something from previous season of in terms of everything, I definitely highly recommend Blue Lock to you.
Yep. Well, alrighty. Once again, everybody, this week's weekly recommendation is Blue Lock. Once again, please check it out. It's a really good show. If you haven't yet checked it out, just give it a chance. And with all that being said, we're going to head on to our last anime review for today, everybody, where we're going to be reviewing Heavenly Delusion. And we're actually going to be reviewing the first 2 episodes of this show. And just to give a quick summary of the plot of the show, so essentially, this show takes place in an apocalyptic Japan, where we follow our 2 main characters, Kiriko. That's how you pronounce that girl name?
Yeah, Kiriko and Maru.
Kiriko and Maru. And the land is also filled with ravenous beasts called man eaters. They're weird, diabolical monsters, and they
Yep.
roam the land.
Yep.
And they do exactly what their name
What the name
suggests.
suggests, yes.
But that's the quick plot of the show. But on first, I guess first thoughts, McMillian. How are you feeling about Heavenly Delusional?
As a person who was a really big fan of Promised Neverland, the manga, the manga. I when I watched the first episode after knowing nothing about the series, I was really in tune with it because I was just like, this feels very reminiscent of that, but not as on a larger scale. And
You got Promised Neverland vibes from this?
the first episode are children in a habitat, and outside everywhere else is fucked up. I mean, I don't know how you don't get
I
Promised
mean,
Neverland.
I guess I give you that. I give you that.
I was like, how do you not get Promised
I
Neverland?
give it to you. I give it to
So
you.
so from like the first beginnings of it, I was really in tune with that because, like I said, huge fan of Promised Neverland, and I was really looking forward to see like what caused, like what was the disaster, what happened, and how will we, if we're spending more time like with the kids, which it doesn't seem like it as we move through the series, but if we were spending time with the kids, saying is the focus on going to be on them escaping and them figuring out what's going on with the world if they can fix it, um, or are we going to focus on these characters trying to find this habitat which they call heaven,
Correct.
and for what reason? Is it to get these children out?
Yes.
Is it to distribute resources from heaven? What is what's the
Yeah. That's also what I forgot to mention. Our 2 main characters are trying to find a place, as McMillian just said, a place called Heaven.
yeah. And I mean, from that, I was already kind of hooked, and now after seeing the glorious animation, this show is just really well put
Is
together.
Mappa doing this one? I don't think. Who's doing this?
I don't believe so. I'm not sure what studio doing it, but whatever studio is doing it, they're doing a great a great
No, they're
job.
doing a wonderful job.
Um, yeah, but all I can really say is
Don't worry about it. I'll find it out here in a second.
okay. All I can really say is that it's just really good. Um, really interested to see how Kuruko and Maru, evolve throughout the show because it
I
definitely
agree.
seems like there's going to be some good, some interesting character development just from what I could tell from episode 1 and 2. And there's even some, besides the mystery of heaven, there also seems to be some character mystery between Kuroko and Maru as well. Like, where did they come from, and why, and like who set them on this path to find heaven.
So it's being produced by Production IG. Never heard of them guys before.
That sounds familiar, but I'm not sure what else they've made. But regardless, they're killing it right now.
Yeah, they're killing it. I do agree with that. So so one of the, I guess, things that is interesting to me is in this show there's like, I don't know if you can call them flashbacks or just cutaways, if you will, to another place where maybe you're saying the place where the children are being held. I'm gonna assume that's what heaven is. Um, but there's one girl in that place that looks a lot like Kiriko, but she has a totally different name. And I'm wondering, but still though, I'm wondering if they are really the same person though, because they look a lot alike, or they could be. Hold on, wait a minute now. Clones or something, because now that I just mentioned it, Maru said he's looking for somebody that looks just like him. So maybe these people out here cloning people or something like that.
It's possible. It is very possible. Or kidnapping kids. That could also be a
Or
thing.
kidnapping kids. That's a possibility as well, because we don't know, what this facility got going on. We don't even know where they're at. In relations to the world right
Nope.
now. They're just
And like
uh-huh.
you pointed out, we also don't know what time
Oh yeah,
stuff
at
is
all,
happening because
at
we don't,
all.
like, for instance, with Kuroko and Maru's adventure could be our present, and then anytime we go to like heaven, that could be the past.
It could be, yes.
We have no idea if these things are happening when they cut away to it congruently, like if they're happening at the same time, or if this is like different time period, like a different time. Because my first assumption of the first episode was that uh, Mimi Hime and Tokyo, which are these two kids in the compound that look a little bit like Kiriko and Maru, were them but younger, and that they escaped and are trying to get back to heaven because they realize how shitty the world is. But as more episodes come out, it's only been 2, but as more episodes come out, I don't think that seems to be the case,
Yeah.
except maybe for Mimi Hime, especially after the end of episode 2, because there seems to be some potentially some science experiments going on these people, and yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just interesting. You know, they could be out here cloning people. There's really no telling what's going on. We do know they have some type of advanced technology though, because the gun that Kiriko was using was some type of, you know, laser beam technology gun.
It's a laser beam.
So we know they do have advanced technology from wherever heaven is. They got that stuff over there.
Yeah, no, they have some good shit, and I mean it's kind of hinted at anyway because when you go to the episode, well, when they cut to heaven, they show the fact that there are robots teaching the kids and are also like
Yeah.
monitoring um, the location. So like there's definitely some technological and resource hoarding going on with heaven, and that could also be a reason that Murako and Kuriko are looking for heaven because they just are trying to survive in general. Besides the
Yeah.
whole, there could be a lookalike out there. So
Yep.
yeah, it's a lot could be going on.
And then now we got this whole mystery thing with Maru going on. The only thing we really know about him is that he, you know, Kiriko took up this job from somebody else. I think they showed us the person who it was, some
But they did,
girl on
yeah.
the dying bed, on her dying bed. And anyway, she, you know, she took up that job and she's just trying to lead him to find heaven, basically, and or the other person that looks like him, because they assume if they find the person that looks like him, they find heaven as well. Or that person can lead him to heaven. And then on top of that, Maru can seemingly kill man eaters by touching them and going inside of them and destroying their hearts. And then on top, secondly, why he was told by somebody, we don't know who yet, to whenever he finds this person that does look like him, to inject whatever is in this needle that he showed us into them.
Yeah.
You don't know what's in this needle, and you just gonna do what these folks. First of all, who are these people? First and foremost. And then second of all, you don't know what's in it, but yet you're still just gonna, all right, yeah, that's cool. Let me inject him with this anyways.
Yeah, no. I feel like every like detail we learn about the characters just is more and more wild or insane out there. Like for instance, in the end of the last episode, we found out Kuroko is essentially from what I can tell, I don't know if someone planted a guy's brain into her body, or if she has multiple personality disorder, or just in general she could just be a trans individual. There's a lot going on with these characters and the world, and but it displays it in a way where you just want to find out more. Like you just constantly
Yes.
kind of want to figure out what's going on and everything that's being involved. Like the more they're peeling the layers back slowly, and it's
Yes.
a good time though.
Yes. And so I'm here for the mystery right now. That's what really was dragging me in. I love a good mystery, and there's just little bits, and they're giving us little bits of information here and there, but it's just a lot of mystery plots all over Heavily Delusional right now. And honestly, they really haven't answered anything other than
No.
Kiriko and Maru, their names and what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's
Like,
just still a lot of mystery going on, and then we also don't know what the biggest mystery is, what the great disaster is. Like,
yeah.
did the great disaster bring these man eaters along, or were man eaters always a thing?
I'd have to assume that it's probably that they brought the monsters along, only just because from that like last little bit we got of
What also, the only reason why I asked that as well is because they already had the technology to fight against them. So like, it just makes you think, okay, were they already here? Well, I mean, I know Crisis does make governments come together and build technology a lot quicker sometimes, but It was just it just made me wonder were they already here because they do have the technology and stuff to fight them off and everything.
Yeah, so that was that's what I was about to say. I was wondering that maybe an event happened. Maybe they're aliens. Maybe they're bioweapons. Who knows? But I was figuring that maybe, uh, they arrived and that led to the destabilization of like society. But governments got together quickly to try and make weapons that could fight against them. It's just that they proved to be not as effective as they'd hoped. And to hopefully save humanity, they created the little these areas called heaven to raise up the next generation in safety and stuff like that, in the hopes that one day, man is either would a die out without human seed, or b like they the kids in there would come out badass with weapons. Because who knows what's going on right now.
Yep. No, I agree. I agree. I mean, like you said, they could be training these kids to be soldiers
Well,
secretly for
because
all we know as well.
yeah, that could be true. I mean, the one thing that I think that kind of stood out to me is that there's that one kid in heaven that's like really athletic,
Hmm.
but and the way he does stuff, I'm like, there are professionals athletes that don't move the way this kid moves. So like, what else is going on here besides just
Yeah, no, I
taking care of
believe
kids.
I believe they're doing some type of experiments on these kids because I mean, Maru's a prime example. I would assume he came from heaven or some type of facility linked to heaven,
Hmm.
um,
And the
because
fact that he can just touch.
yeah, because he can touch man eaters and go inside them and stuff like that. It's
Hmm.
not normal. So either he was born with those powers, his body was augmented in some way. Something happened to him one way or another. Regardless, though,
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. It would be interesting to see if Maru's not even like a person, like he
that
himself
would
is
be
a weapon.
that would be interesting. Because I
Uh,
mean, we're not sure if like man eaters are like the only other otherworldly beings in this universe just yet. So they could be. I didn't think about that. He could be
I
a man eater
like I
hybrid
said,
as well,
it's,
because maybe that's why he can interact with them or something. I don't know. We don't know. We could sit here and throw out theories all day.
day. Yeah, but I think that's just an example of how good the show is with layering its mysteries. You got a lot of stuff you could like avenues you can go down to figure out, what this story has involved.
Yeah, and then I guess one thing I will say I'm looking forward to is just seeing the different designs that they have for the man eater. The first one I think was pretty cool, so I'm just looking forward to seeing the rest of the designs as well.
Yes, definitely. I'd agree. Definitely.
Well, all right. So we're actually gonna rate these two episodes together, both episode 1 and 2.
Hmm.
And with that being said, I think I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8. I think these first two episodes had a really strong premise. I love the apocalyptic setting that they got going on. It actually has. I don't. It's not a comedy show, but there's some comedy moments in it that I think is not too bad. It's not like I think it's it deters away from the show. Like, oh, why did they throw a joke in here or something like that? Um, and the animation is good, like you mentioned multiple times. The animation is great as well. And then just the mysteries, just like we was just doing, we was just throwing out so many theories, and we can't keep going. Like the mystery aspect of the show, I'm loving that.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly with Ace. This is definitely. I feel like these two together is definitely like an 8, a very strong start to a series, and I'm along for the ride. Like I'm definitely strapped in, and I'm waiting to see how everything unfolds. It's really though we have some interesting main characters as well as just a very interesting setting and premise that they're doing justice to so far, and I can't wait to see how we get to the end of it and
I agree.
what these things reveal. So
Well, all right, everybody. That is the end of the Heavenly Delusion overview. Please let us know down below in the comments if you have checked out Heavenly Delusion. If not, please do, because we do think it is a good show. We're gonna be, like McMillian said, we're gonna be along for the ride, and we'll probably do another review towards the end of the season here to see how it wrapped up. But yeah, please let us know down below in the comments what you guys think. And with all that being said, I'm gonna hand over to McMillian to go ahead and take us on out here.
all right, guys, as always, appreciate you for watching this last listening. If you want to stay up to all things about the council, please consider following us on our social media as at Gurren Otaku's on Twitter and at Gurren Otaku Council on everything else. For my watchers on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Please let us know what you're thinking of these two animes if you have seen them, and if you have, and if you haven't, but like checked out other stuff within the spring season, do let us know. As it, hey, spring season is here, and we cannot wait to see what it has in store. For my audio only listeners, please consider sharing the podcast as well as following us. Helps us grow, and we really do appreciate it. Do be sure to come share your thoughts with us on our social medias, or check us out on the YouTube so you can also get in on the conversations. With all that being said, guys, the council. This is Gurren Otaku Council saying, meeting adjourned. Have a wonderful evening. Peace.